trying to speak to. Because at this point in time, I think most of them were more concerned about how to speak into Caligula than what their rock music means. I guess people just needed something to complain about before violent video games became a political issue. Anyway, back to your generalizing.
Mocking God, the occult. Aren't these things often found in rock music?
That's your opinion. You made Amy Grant famous.
The counselor cuts a deal with Jeff that he can't listen to any rock music for 2 weeks.
No music for 2 weeks? Oh, jump back.
He even offers to give Jeff some choice selections from his own collection of music.
These are some albums and a couple of tapes from my own personal collection.
It's a still up-and-comer named Marilyn Manson. I think he's going places. Oh, and here's some Godsmack. Also, if Jeff chooses to listen to rock music, he must provide 10 verses from the Bible on why that's a good decision.
Opinions change all the time, but God's word never changes.
Like the Old and New Testaments, completely the same.
Still, though, no rock music for 2 weeks. He better take up something else to pass the time, like drugs and murder. Or hey, how about some kinda Kim Cattrall action?
Just look, he's gonna shoot her.
Want to know a secret? That's not melted butter on my pants. This is Jeff's friend Melissa, who comes to remind him about the concert that they were going to.
Jeff, did you get the tickets to the rock concert?
I'm so excited about it that I'm not even going to say what the name of the band is. Jeff declines the concert, which naturally upsets Melissa.
But we've waited almost 3 months for these tickets. I thought this concert was going to be my birthday present.
Well, look, you can still go.
It's okay. Dexy's Midnight Runners will be around for years to come.
Jeff is suddenly taking up the opinion that all rock is evil because of a book that told him to think that way.
Here, you should read some of this too. I never realized before how bad a lot of that music is.
You needed a book to tell you that Ode to Billy Joe is a terrible song.
This upsets Melissa so much that she threatens to go to the concert with someone else.
And I'm going to the concert. Maybe with Dennis. He'd love to go out with me.
He has individuality, personality, thinks for himself, sticks up for his tastes. Come to think of it, Dennis is a much better person than you. So when Melissa doesn't listen, Jeff decides to preach to his friend Marty.
Hey, look at this one. See what I mean?
This one has black tape covering the band's name too. They're all like this. You know, I could almost buy the counselor's genuosity. He has an opinion I disagree with, sure, but at least he's nice about it, and has clearly held these beliefs for a long time. Jeff is suddenly acting like some judgmental jerk-ass who is flailing around accusations without any evidence to back it up.
Some of these groups, some are even involved in the occult.
Name one. Go ahead. You brought it up. Name one example. I'm not saying there aren't any, but if you're going to paint an entire genre of music as a cultist, back it up with at least one example.
But all he does is switch the topic on how bad it is that kids listen to Kiss.
I talked to 2 different record clerks at the shop at the mall. They said that the average age of a person buying a Kiss album was 12 years old. 12.
It's okay, that changed by the time they saw Kiss meet Phantom of the Park.
Wait, you went into a record store asking about children? Did this movie have at least one voice of reason?
Don't you think you're going off the deep end? I mean, everyone has a right to his own taste in music.
This movie finally has a hero. And let me guess, they're going to treat him as a villain.
Hey, if you're going to get rid of these albums, throw them my way, huh?
Except for the Frampton Bee Gees Sgt. Pepper album, you can keep that. After days go by of Jeff's social life falling apart, he has to confide once
Frampton
again to Brother
Bee Gees Sgt. Pepper's album. Download that at some point.
I won't.
Yeah, on free will.
There's one part here that I really love, and it isn't because of what's going on in the scene. It's the part where Jeff goes to a record store, and it reminds me of how much I miss having a huge old-school record store in our mall. I wax nostalgic over shit like this all the time. The scene itself just has Jeff trying to talk to people about their taste in music.
I tried to interview two teenagers in the record department, but when they found out I was a Christian, they hassled me a little bit.
They probably hassled you because you went up to strangers and called them godless heathens.
But still, he cannot resist the allure of some jamming tunes.
The beat just grabbed me. I couldn't get the music out of my mind until I got home and played one of the tapes you gave me. Like it's just weird being controlled like that.
How dare you enjoy something that you like?
You know, at this point, this is getting kind of sad. We are looking at a movie about how this kid's elders are taking something as innocent as his taste in music and using it to destroy his personality and his life.
Some simple habits I had to get rid of instantly, but other things that had played a big part of my life, well, I had to give them up.
Not all rock music is about sex and drugs, just like not all Christians think that rock music is evil.
Now, with the work almost completed, you're facing some difficult choices. It's not as easy as a simple yes or no, is it?
Yes, it is that easy. Just be a good person. If there is a God, I don't think he cares if you have the golden age of wiredness like Thomas Dolby. Although I'm sure some of the characters in this movie would prefer that you listen to She Blinded Me with Creationism.
But Melissa tries to cheer Jeff up by inviting him to a party.
Jeff, want to have some fun?
Oh, good idea. This is like inviting Morrissey to a pep rally.
As you can imagine, things don't go well. Someone turns on rock music, which sends Jeff into a a frenzy.
A party? What do you want, Amazing Grace? There's our youth group in there. Then why did you bother to invite me if you plan to play that game? It's like I told you before, don't push it down my throat. If you want to have some fun, okay. But if you don't like it, then just go home to Mama.
No, I want him to stay and tell me how that instrumental rock song is evil. So far, you've only had a problem with lyrics. So what's the matter with this one?
Oh, you're not going to answer? Okay. This far into the movie, I'm not entirely convinced that the audience is supposed to be rooting for Jeff. Who could possibly root for him? Maybe this is a propaganda film on the flip side. It's about how Jeff's religion is turning him into a terrible person.
You're a hypocrite! A hypocrite!
Jeff returns to the party because if his life is going in a downward spiral of depression, he's taking his friends with him.
I've been insulted and made fun of the last 2 weeks.
Oh, you've been insulted?
I've learned quite a bit these last 2 weeks, and I'm not going to stick around here and be a hypocrite. You think you're so perfect? Well, you're not. Your nose in the soap operas all day. They're nothing but sexless commercials.
You should have gotten your ass kicked.
Jeff finally decides that friends and feelings are overrated, so he turns his back on all rock music.
I want people to think that I'm different when they see me. I want them to think that Christianity is something more than just going to church.
I want people to think that Christianity is judging people based on their taste in pop culture. The movie even ends with Jeff giving a sermon to the local youth group about his discoveries on rock music.
I want you to think about these questions I'm going to ask. How many of you plan to leave church tonight to go out and get drunk? How many of you are going to go out and shoot up with some heroin or smoke a joint? If you're shocked by these questions, or if you think they're a little funny, maybe you should take a close look at the music you've been listening to.
Because music is on par with shooting up heroin.
Just walk into some record store that's playing a really good guitar beat. See what the music does to you. Have any of you ever seen a rock concert on TV? Or maybe even been to one personally? How does the audience react to the music? Well, did they just sit quietly in their seats and listen? Man, I sure wouldn't. No, they were all in mass, swaying and clapping and dancing and jumping to the beat. They were actually being controlled.
Much like how comedy makes you laugh, drama makes you cry, horror makes you scared. These are emotions, people, and emotion is a sin.
Please, tell us more of your findings.
I did a survey out at the mall. 4 out of 5 of the teenagers I talked to said that the lyrics weren't important as long as the music was pretty good.
The good person was just some guy buying Disco Duck.
Come on, we need names, we need titles. Tell us what is evil, Jeff.